Hello everybody. So I thought I'd do a little thing on solo guitar today because there ain't much ensemble going on in the world. My daughter's kind of asleep, so hopefully she'll stay asleep long enough for me to do this. I'm just going to arrange the A section of a nice standard, not a rice standard, a nice standard that I've been looking at recently, which is Easy Living. It's an old tune from the 1930s. Made popular by Billie Holiday, but very popular with jazz instrumentalists and singers of ever since. So the melody goes like this. So that's, obviously that's the basic start for any kind of chord melody arrangement, is making sure that you can play the melody. Now, the next step of arranging this is actually just to get the bass going along with the melody, right? So this can take a little bit of practice, especially if you're not used to doing it. But the bass line for the first few bars of Easy Living is just like A flat. We're in the key of A flat, so it's 1, sharp 1, 2, sharp 2, 3, or A flat, A, B flat, B, C. And you put that with the melody, and it should sound something like this. Sorry. Ooh. And then get to here. Okay, so how do you do that? Well, you've got to be obviously aware of what the rhythm is. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And the melody goes 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me just play that again. 3, 4, 1. Oh, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Obviously you can't play that note, but you get the idea, right? You've got to have an idea of the rhythmic matrix. That's a fancy way of putting it. What beats everything happens on, and then you can put the accompaniment behind it, or just the bass note in this case. Now, obviously that could happen both at the same time, so I could do a hybrid picking there to make sure I get both those notes at the same time. I quite enjoy the challenge, because I'm a weirdo, of using the pick, because I find that with the pick I just kind of separate everything out a bit more, and also, it's nice to know that it's something I can always do. And I play with the pick, and I play with the pick in this funny way, and it's actually quite hard to get the fingers involved, so this is kind of the way I tend to do things. I also like the sound of the plectrum. I like the sound of having a little bit of a guitaristic attack on the notes. So I'll just play that again. So, excuse me. So I'm just doing the bass note along with the melody all the way through. So, and then play that again. So 3, 4. Sorry, it wasn't in time. And it's quite important for me to do it in time, so I'll just take that little corner. And then an important thing to notice is, like, at the end of that we get a nice little kind of space to do what we like. So it's this kind of little turnaround a bit. Now for that, personally I quite like 3, 7, 6, 7, 2, 7, 5, 7, 1. So putting the whole thing together. Now, in that little turnaround, we could do something a little bit more kind of jazz guitar-y if we wanted to, right? We could play a little fill or something. So, and it's easier because of the way I play. It's easier for me just to drop in a chord there. This is a, you know, then I don't have to go. This is a B diminished seventh with a G on top. I love this shape. It comes up all the time in different contexts. So what was I saying? Oh, this is the bass. Always better if you can put it in time. Okay, so that's basically what I'm thinking of as a basic arrangement. I mean, it might take you a little while to get the bass and the melody notes together, but of course you can do it finger style or hybrid picking. Excuse me, sorry, I hit an open string there. But you know, like I find like it's all doable with a pick. So the next step beyond that would just be to start dropping in some chords, and I'm quite a big fan of these sort of very simple two-note dyads, like what I think of as shells. So in my kind of style here, I'm kind of approaching it like a pianist, hopefully. So you've got the left hand, so it goes doom boom dee doom dee doom boom dee dee. You can probably see that I don't really play the piano, but the left hand is kind of quite steady, and obviously the right hand plays the melody. So you can model things after shell voicings a little bit, and actually one of the things I quite like doing with chords at the moment is just leaving out the third. I mean, you know, so you can have like a root and a seventh, or a root and a sixth. So for instance, you know, the first few chords of this tune, Easy Living, if you look them up, are A flat major, seventh or something, A diminished seventh, B flat minor seventh, B diminished seventh, and then either C minor 7 or A flat / C, depending on how you look at it. So in that case, I can just use like a root and a sixth, and a root and a sixth again because it's a diminished chord, right? But it's a flat, double flat seventh if you're being theoretical about it. Excuse me, that's a minor seventh, that's major sixth again. Let's try doing that without the extra notes, eh? And then we can do the same thing for this A flat 7, and then we can do that for the D flat major, and then this for the G7. Okay, so let me put the melody notes on top. So for the first one, you get that from the melody, right? I'd use that chord because I just like it, but you could miss out that note and it'd be just as effective. Okay, and then you get the G flat 7 there, and then so 4. And then here I think like kind of a F major triad. We'll do some work on that in a sec, so that's a bit nondescript. And then here, how to kind of, because that's the 13th, you get this kind of E flat, you know, major 6th chord. So in that case, like with the dominant chords, to make them sound a bit more spicy, what I like to do is I like to often play them in inversion, and there's a very useful shape for this, which is just the tritone. So for instance, if I'm playing, let's take this chord here, which I didn't really like. So this is like just a major triad, right, with a 5th on top. So F, you know, A, C. Well, it might be nice if we, instead of playing the F in the bottom, we play the E flat. And that gives you the dominant 7th chord, but a rootless voicing. It doesn't have the F in at all. Okay? So, sorry, let's check this mic is working. Hello? Seems to be. Okay, so that's a great shape. And these sorts of shapes are really handy, by the way. And I do the same thing for here. So this is, again, you know, it's just a bit boring. So we can put the 7th in like like that. That's a really useful shape. Okay, so let's just put that together. So and then we go up here. And here we can do that shape again, which I quite like. Might as well just use a B flat minor there. Maybe the fifth. Gives you a slightly different turnaround, right? If we put the fifth on top. Okay. This is like a one note samba turnaround. You know, you can do whatever you like there, really. You go. That was a tad downward turnaround. Yeah, oh, this is awkward actually, I find. Or I suppose I could play a C minor 11th there actually. Taking care to separate the melody notes. And then we can do the same thing that we've done for the other dominants here by putting a 7th in the bass. And you can hear that adds a bit of spice to our chords. So we're not always limited to playing all the chords in root position, basically. Hopefully that sounds good to you. I think it sounds good to me. So I just wanted to touch a little bit on these kind of, you know, third inversion dominant shapes, because I find them really useful. And that structure, like a, you know, flat 5, sorry, tritone in the bottom, it's quite useful because you can put this on the root of a dominant chord, or you can put it on the 7th. And you can also put it on the 3rd. Gives you that kind of alto dominant. Now I noticed that Pasquale Grasso uses this a lot for these kind of sounds, and that's kind of like the tritone but with the flat 13th on top, if you're looking at it that way. Or actually for this chord, this is probably a 1 flat 5 flat 7. And these kind of voicings which don't have a 3rd in sound super hip. So for instance, you saw me using this for the G flat 13, you know, for this bit. So it goes sounds to me a bit better than the conventional dominant voicing with a 3rd in. I learned that from Peter Bernstein, by the way. He sort of pointed out that chord as being a monk voicing. It certainly has that kind of angularness to it. So and my second time come back to 1, so in that case I'm going flat 7 back to 1. And there we go. And the same strategy again, just using the melody note. And so on, right? So just using the bass and the melody together. You can do little walking things, Joe Passy things that I told you not to do in another video. That's a bit awkward actually, I don't like that. So let's try and get the melody a bit more unencumbered there. Try a few things there. So again, like using that flat 5 thing is quite fun on the dominant chords. Anyway, I hope that's some use to you, and you find it inspiring for your own arrangements. Let me know any questions below. I'll probably just do a few more of these, as there's not much else playing to be done at the moment. Thanks for watching.